Alright guys, welcome back to Vintage Reactions 2. This is part 3 of the last 24 hours of my Elvis Presley documentary reaction video. I had to stop on the second part. It was a little heavy, you know what I mean? So I decided to do another part. But hopefully this is the last part. Hopefully I can make it through to the end without having to take another break. But anyway, let's just jump right back into it.
I'm gonna try to go to sleep. I said, okay. I said, you need me, I'll be at the house. And I assumed he was going to bed. His swings were more frequent. Elvis Presley was always an upbeat person. He really was. And I guess that's one of the things more that made you like to be a part of that because he was. And then to see him have these mood swings, uh, more frequent, and it was scary. It really was. And, I didn't like it. To be honest with you, I just didn't like it at all.
I would say that Elvis started slipping after he accomplished that feat of the billion and a half people watching him live from around the world on that satellite show. From that point on, I would say it was just a slowly slide. No up and down, just slowly slide.
I tried not to let his moods a lot of times affect my moods. If I did, we were both in the pits of hell at that time, literally. And so therefore, when I thought he was down, I was going to try to be up. And when he was up, I was automatically up. I mean, I was in tune to him. But it was difficult. It was hard. And you want to just say, God, man, come on. It's not too late. Get a grip in your life, and get away from the drugs. Don't use them. You don't have to. And take a little time off. Nothing's that impressive. You don't owe anybody anything. If you get rid of me tomorrow, and I told him that, and I meant it from the bottom of my heart, if you get rid of all these guys, they will understand. And if they don't, they were not your friends to start with. But take some time off. And he'd just look at me and say, I can't. I owe too much to too many people.
We lived a wild and fast life in those matter of years that he was on Earth. So, like that song, he did it his way. I'm not giving the song any credit, but I wish he would have changed and did it our way, but he did it his way. We could talk to him at times, he'd sit and agree. He'd say, yeah, I'm going to change my life. Yeah, I'll do it when I'm ready to do it. And we all had that hope because the last vacation in March of 1977, we all went to Hawaii. We had a great time. He was in a great mood. He was out there on the beach having a good time. He was overweight at the time, but he was smiling. We thought, hey, this is a good chance. He cleaned his act up for about 30 days or more. But then all of a sudden, boom, right back again.
At Graceland, Elvis now faced the grind and rigors of yet more performances, with the backup of his friends. None of them were happy. Elvis's decline had accelerated.
When I see him on stage performing in the manner that he started performing there at the end, where he wanted to do the best show he could, but with what he was,
Nothing left.
where he was at, he was really burning, and the light was getting dimmer.
I must say, this is painful for me.
Hell
When
yeah,
Elvis-
it's painful. I hate to pause him right there, but I must say, looking back on this now, I can only imagine how they felt to look back now and know that those were his last hours, like literally. That's got to be something.
On stage, he gave such a whoever has not seen Elvis live has missed the greatest entertainer of the 20th
Me?
century. The greatest star of the 20th century. But when I saw him, my heart sank because I knew that something was wrong. I could see in his eyes, I saw in his face. I said, he can't last like this another 5 years.
We were all very frustrated. But we all only thing we could do is that. We can't, he's 42 years old. You can't force this man to do anything. You know, people say, why did you guys have him committed? How could I have him committed? He's 42 years old. I can't have him committed. His father couldn't have him committed. You know, you can't prove he's crazy. Your hands are tied. Your hands are tied.
I didn't lay back in the later years. That last year and a half, I didn't lay back. I said what I wanted to say. The hell of it is, after all I look back on it, it didn't do any good, you know. That's what hurts more than anything.
This guy and his personal, his spiritual guru or whatever, they seem to be more genuine as far as how they speak when they speak about Elvis. They don't seem like the ones who may have turned their backs on him or used his story and flipped it or put out his dirty laundry or, negative, health issues or whatever. These two seem emotionally attached. They seem like they're genuine in what they're saying about Elvis.
6 a.m., the 16th of August, 1977. Elvis was restless. He told Ginger he was going to read in the bathroom. 2 p.m., the 16th of August, 1977. Ginger went to the bathroom to check if Elvis was okay.
Got up the next day, came to the house about 12 noon, it's the 16th, and about 2 o'clock, the phone rings, intercom, and one of the maids picks up the phone, and it's Ginger. She says, come upstairs, I need help. Elvis fainted. So I ran upstairs. I go into the bathroom, and Elvis fell over. He was laying on the floor. I turned him over. I knew he was dead. Just knew. But I was hoping he wasn't. Picked up the phone, called. The operator didn't have 911 at that time, and said we need an ambulance here at Elvis Presley's house. I didn't tell who it was. And meanwhile, I couldn't do mouth-to-mouth resuscitation because Elvis' mouth was closed shut. There was no way possible. There's rumors I did that, but somebody made that story up. I was trying to massage his heart as well as I could, and it just seemed forever. People were all coming up there, and it was pandemonium. The ambulance finally showed up, and it seemed forever, and I found out later, it was like 20 minutes before they got there. We got him in the ambulance. The stretcher came, got him down in the ambulance. I jumped in the back of the ambulance, all the way to the hospital, we're talking to him.
Why didn't somebody just throw his ass in the car and get him to the hospital? Who waits 20 minutes for ambulance to come?
It was tough, and 30 minutes later, about 30 minutes, I would think, the doctor came into the room and he said, Elvis has left. Elvis is gone. And we all broke down. We all hugged each other. It was very, very emotional time, naturally. We were, still in a state of shock, even when you think about it. We never thought this could ever happen.
I go to Graceland. I pulled into the gates, and Elvis's uncle says to me, Larry, did you hear what just happened? I said, no, what happened? He said, Elvis just died. Wait a minute, what did you say? He said, Elvis just died. I looked up at Elvis's bedroom, and I looked at him. I can't begin to tell you the state of mind that put me in.
Wow, I
About
can imagine.
1:30 or 1:45, the phone rang, and it was my cousin Patsy, who is Elvis's double first cousin and my first cousin. So she had called out there, and she said, oh my God, she said, Elvis is dead. And I said, whoa, wait a minute, Patsy. I said, what do you mean? I said, is he gone to the hospital? She said, yeah, they've taken him to the hospital. I said, he's been, in the hospital before. I said, he'll be all right. She said, no. She said, he's dead.
There was a PR guy from the hospital was there with me. He asked me, he said, do you want to make the announcement? Elvis is no longer with us. I couldn't do the announcement. I couldn't make the announcement. The press. I told the PR guys, you do it. I can't do it.
And guy, we're driving down and I radio's on and they play an Elvis record and the disc jockey says by the late Elvis Presley. Ah, I literally went berserk. I realized I'd never see Elvis Presley again. And it's the first time I realized it. And I hit this wall so hard. I crushed my hand. I had an operation. Still have scars.
And Colonel was on the phone to Joe. And he was saying, yes, I know, and you need to do this, you need to do that. So he hung up the phone, and I was leaning on the television set. It was on a stand. And I was leaning on it. My left arm, in fact. You know, things become really indelified in your mind. And he walked up within probably 8 inches of my face, 10 inches. He said, you got to go back to Memphis. Elvis is dead. And I looked at him, and it hit me like a sledgehammer. And I looked at him and I said, listen, I said, you know what? I said, you finally ran him to the ground, didn't you?
Mm.
And he got mad at me. I said, you
Good.
know what I'm talking about. I said, y'all wouldn't let him up. He kept working. He kept working. He said, you need to leave. And I said, yeah, I'm going to leave and keep knocking your damn teeth out.
When they brought him,
I felt that thing. I felt that. Colonel, you know, he makes me angry. He really does, y'all. But, I mean, just listen to this story, and it all could have just been prevented. You know what I mean? But we can't change what is now. It's just learning this. It's like an emotional roller coaster. I'm telling you. You enjoy it. The highs of watching the performances and the music is still here, but then the background of knowing that you'll never be able to actually go and see this performance live, or, you know, to see what his music will be like now. It's like a bomber, especially when you think about the whys and everything behind it. Yeah.
to the house and all the next day. I had some relief, you might say, when I saw him. Because I realized it's true, you know. You've got to accept it, it's true. Whereas before I could believe, you know, that he was just sick, you know, in the hospital. I was just hearing what they wanted to tell me. But when you see the real thing, then you know it's there. You got to deal with it.
I got into the house, and there is a group. A lot of the guys are there, and there's little Lisa Marie walking around saying, "My daddy is dead. My daddy is dead." Vernon, his father, is sitting in a chair. He said, "Larry, Larry," and I run over to him and I collapse into his arms. What am I going to do? What am I going to do, Larry? He said, "Larry, you're going to have to go do Elvis's hair. You got to go to the mortuary, Larry. He knows how he would like to look." I said, "Don't you worry, Mr. Presley. Don't you worry. I'll go."
And I would have never, ever thought he would have died. We all talked about it, but he's too strong. He was too strong a person. We said he's going to change his life. And he did. And it was tough. It got to a point where a lot of guys don't want to talk about it.
I think that he had so much to give. And here it is, you know, he hits the floor and died by himself. I think it's horrible. Nobody has nobody wants, nobody wants to die. And nobody wants to, especially die alone, I don't think. It'd have been so nice if we all could have been around him.
That's not how he wanted it, though. That's the crazy part. Y'all, that's crazy how, like I said before, listening to them talk now and then knowing what you know from the letter, they're saying what they would have or what they think he would have wanted, but according to his letter, it's not at all what he would have wanted. So I just wonder, how does that make them feel? Like, have they put that together, the letter and what Elvis wrote in that, versus doing this documentary and me watching it and I'm picking up on how it's contrary. You know, Elvis said one thing and they said another. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
I was led by these police officers into a brick building that was very cold, very dark, a long corridor. walked down this corridor, and all I could hear was my heart beating, thumping, boom, boom, boom. And I stopped in my tracks because I saw what was in the other room. There was a table. I saw a body on the table with a sheet. I walked into the room. There was Elvis. I walked up to him. I stood right by his head on this side. Charlie Hodge stood on the other side. There's a few morticians in the room. And there was a silence for a long period of time. I just looked at that face. That beautiful, magnificent face. Now I had to do his hair. And the next shock kicked in. We were off tour for 6 weeks. We had a hiatus period. There's a regrowth, half an inch. So, all white hair. I didn't bring my dyes with me. I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do now? There was a lady there, and I said, do you have your mascara with you? And she did. It was a little black, thank God, mascara. A little teeny brush. So I smeared it all around, blended it into his black hair, and I dyed black.
Oh.
And it worked. It took me a good 45 minutes to an hour just to prepare his hair. Because first of all, Elvis was lying horizontally. His life force left the body, so there was nothing there. So I had to work on it, work on it, work on it, which I did. At a certain point, the morticians who were applying makeup to his hands and his upper body like they do, they pulled the sheet down. And Charlie Hodge screamed. He said, what the hell are you, how could you do that in front of us? So the crisscrossed autopsy scars. They covered it back up. And over the years, you know, the big story, Elvis might be alive. Oh, how I wish that.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just getting ready to pause the video, but I wanted you to finish your statement. And before you could finish your statement, you went into what I was getting ready to say. So King is doing, he did a couple of videos or whatever on these people who say that they have spotted Elvis or Elvis is still alive or whatever crazy nonsense or whatever. I wonder if they watch this video and realize that he really is gone. Like, you couldn't have spotted the man, and the man who's been doing his hair, and it's been his personal, personal encounters with this guy. You can't say the man is still alive. Like, it's just not a fact. It's just not.
It's true.
Excuse me.
I worked on his body. And I've worked on his body thousands of times. It was Elvis Presley. That's it. There's no doubt about it. And memories just started cascading down. Memories of the first night that I met Elvis, telling me how I must have been plucked out of the millions and millions of lives to be Elvis. There has to be a reason. And things of the last 13, 14 years. It was so unbelievable, so surrealistic. At a certain point, I thought, no, wait a minute, this isn't real. He's sleeping. He's going to open his eyes. He's going to imitate Chief Inspector Clouseau from the Peter Sellers Pink Panther movies. Elvis knew all the lines. He was going to wake up and sit up and say, hey, what the hell's going on here? Let's get back to Graceland. No. I understood exactly what was happening. I understood this is the corpse of Elvis Presley. And his life force, his soul is not in that body anymore. Vernon Presley, Joe Esposito, and a few of the guys, Jerry Schilling, and a few others, we walked up to see Elvis for the very last time, because now he's going to be interned. Someone took his TCB ring off, and the lid of the coffin was coming down. And I'll tell you right now, purposely, consciously, right before the lid came down, I put my hand in. I put my hand right on his forehead and said goodbye. And I wanted to be the last person to
Oh.
The funeral, during the funeral, some weird things happened, you know. We got ready to load the casket into the hearse after we loaded it and all of a sudden this tree limb broke and made a hell of a sound, really did, made a crashing sound. It was not that big a tree limb, but it was big enough. And to look at it, it looked green. It didn't look like it was rotted and it fell. It looked, everybody kind of looked at each other, and of course I think Lamar said something, you know, said, well, he's still at work or something like that, you know. Then we got to the mausoleum, and they had him set up, and there was this little round window up above, and it faced east and west, and it was, I guess around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and when the sun finally came over, where the wood separates the panes, there was 4 of them, it threw this pretty across that casket you've ever seen. Of course, I can't tell you the cold chills that run across my body, you know. I thought,
You know, my best friend is dead. No matter what you want to say, that's the biggest loss to me I've ever had. And we can say he had a good career, we can say this, we can say that, but the guy's dead.
it was that rocket ride with Elvis that we went through. It was such a part of life, you know, and a fascinating one at that. And you can't just turn that on and off when you get ready. There's times when it'll hit me and sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's sad. And needless to say, a lot of times I've listened to an Elvis song and just broke down, you know, and
I
cried.
can believe that. I believe him.
In the land of cotton, old times they are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away.
King has done this one as well. He liked this one too.
There's not a day that goes by I don't think about him. I have dreams about him. I've had him, my last wife. One night I just jumped up in the bed, sitting straight up. Elvis said, "Holly, Lamar," and I heard it, and he woke me up. I mean, I heard his voice like it was right next to me, and I was in a cold sweat. She said, "What is it?" I said, "He just hollered at me," and every day it goes on.
Look away. Look away.
Still get very pissed off about it. You know, it took a while. I didn't get pissed off right away. I was too hurt, too confused, too frustrated over not being able to do anything to stop it. And I get pissed off at the people that helped contribute to it. But I get pissed off at Elvis. He was a smart man. He knew what he was doing, but he denied it. Maybe he really couldn't see any way out of changing. I mentioned it to Billy, his cousin. Billy told me that last year when we weren't around. He mentioned that, you know, maybe he did sometimes take a little bit too much medication.
That's crazy.
I was angry about his death. Elvis, I thought he had no right to die. I thought he had no right to die at that age. I think that he left too much on the table. If anybody ever left too much on the table, Elvis did.
Bound to die.
Okay, Jeffrey.
I just flash back to all the good times we were having there. You know, the parties up at the pool and smiling, laughing, and having good times, but it's never going to happen again.
Terrible.
I spent about 20 years trying to make up for it after Elvis died, make up for all the things that I didn't do with my family when I was taking those pills and when I was with Elvis. I'm not very proud of those things. But that was the way of life we had. It was a mentality that Elvis really set, and of course we didn't have to go along with it, but we did, is that the life it belongs to the guys and not the wives. And he excluded the wives a lot in what we did, but that's really no excuse for me.
Them vocals. Them vocals.
The impact upon my life has been so profound. Not just meeting Elvis and working for him and having the unique relationship that I did have with him, but his death. You know, the day he died, then I went to the mortuary to do his hair. I thought to myself then and there, I'll never be the same again. And I haven't been. It's almost like my soul ruptured, so to speak. Yes, you know, you come to terms with it, but it stays with you. And that moment, those moments of his death have remained until this very moment, and I'm sure they...
Here's another reason to join T-Mobile. Unlimited data. With
Man.
They will until I take my last breath.
My blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues in the middle of the pouring rain. WC Handy,
Where is he buried at?
won't you look down
In Memphis?
over me? Yeah, I got a first class ticket, but I'm as blue as a boy can be. Then I'm walking in Memphis, just walking with my feet 10 feet off a beam. Walking in Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? Saw the ghost of Elvis on Union Avenue. Followed him up to the gates of Graceland, and I watched him walk right through. Now security, they did not see him. They just hover around his tomb. There's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down in the jungle room. When I was walking in Memphis, I was walking with my feet 10 feet off a beam. Walking in Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? They've got catfish on the table. They've got gospel in the air. Reverend Green, be glad to see you when you haven't got a prayer.
All right, guys. So that's Elvis Presley, the last 24 hours. I did this in 3 parts. Please check out all 3 parts of the video so that you can get my reaction to some of the things I heard, some of the things I feel, some of the things I think. I also want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think about some of the information that was shared. Was it all truthful? Was it not? I kind of feel as if the ones that's his mafia group or whatever, squad... For the most part, he had some genuine people that actually literally cared about him. And I can feel the emotion, the raw emotion of all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or if we could, you know, all that stuff. But I do want to hear what you guys think, because you guys know more than I do. I'm only, 1 month into my Elvis journey. So I'm still kind of new. But I'm proud of all the information I have learned thus far, especially with the help of you guys. You guys totally rock. But like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.